Hello amigos, today we'll be talking about a stream that a YouTuber known as JLongbone uploaded about a year ago about TikTok feminism, where she makes fun of feminist TikToks. But we're not gonna cover the whole stream since it's 4 hours long. Instead, this video will be focusing on a small segment of the video that I found the most questionable.
Just because we're sympathetic does not mean we're interested.
I thought was my friend asked to come talk to me in my room around midnight, and he came in my room crying with scratches on his wrist, saying he thought about slitting his wrists and killing himself. So I asked him what was wrong and what triggered him, and if he'd like to talk about it to make him feel better, you know, like a good friend should do. And unbeknownst to me, he snuck vodka in his canteen and proceeded to get drunker and drunker as we were talking and put his arm around me.
Yeah, just so yeah, he's clearly depressed, and some people, when they're depressed, they get drunk, they drink. What's the problem? Because you sounding real cunty right now. You sound like you deserve a slap.
And then when he started crying at some point and I gave him a hug, he decided it was a good idea to kiss my neck. When I told him to stop and physically pushed him off me, he asked me, is it because I'm not sober? And I said, no, it's because I told you to stop. That being said, if you ever use mental health to manipulate a girl's feelings towards you, fuck.
You fucking asshole. You really think, oh, I had scratches on my wrist, I was clearly depressed and I was drinking and got drunk, and it could, you know. He probably thought, oh, she's comforting me. Got really fucking, he just got a little too hinky. He got a little too familiar. But how is that fucking proof that he used his mental illness just to push up on you because you're just so hot?
So, the girl in the TikTok's argument is basically that it's wrong to use your mental health problems to manipulate a girl's feelings towards you. And JLongbone's response to that is that him kissing her neck was not proof that he faked his depression just to get with her. But she never said that. Nowhere in the TikTok did she accuse him of faking his depression. He very well may have been depressed. Hell, I believe it was genuine. But to me, it's pretty clear that she's saying that even if it's real, that's not an excuse for unwanted physical contact. Simply said, mental health is not an excuse. And on top of that, she implies that the girl was asking for it.
He probably thought, oh, she's comforting me. Got really fucking, he just got a little too hinky.
As to say, oh well, you were just sending out the wrong signals. As if comforting someone who's depressed is a signal that they want you romantically. Like, what was she supposed to do? Tell him to fuck off? Yes, I'm sure if she did that, you would be totally fine with that. I'm sure there would be no talk of hypocrisy regarding feminism and men being emotionally vulnerable. And she describes what the guy did as getting a little too kinky. Really? That's what you're gonna call it? Let's call it what it is. Sexual assault. Sexual assault is any unwanted attention, touch, or act that is forced on you without your consent, including kissing you without your permission. Now, why am I making this video? Because as unfortunate as it is, there are plenty of people on this website defending sexual assault against women. And it would be insane to cover all of them. The reason is because in this instance, it's way more uncritically received. The ratio is the same as on most anti-feminist videos. And the comments don't seem to be mentioning it at all. Another reason is because it falls under the triggered feminist category. And it just has me wondering, is this really where the anti-feminist community is heading towards? Has its hatred for feminists blinded them so much that they will defend literal sexual assault if it's being talked about with a feminist aesthetic? To me, this demonstrates a breaking point in the anti-feminist train that has been going on for so long now on YouTube. Because I don't think this would have been considered acceptable 6 to 7 years ago. If you showed this girl's story to people outside of the anti-feminist cesspool, they probably wouldn't react the same way. they would probably be more sympathetic to the girl's story. And this is demonstrated very well with how Jay Longbone is clearly squirming, trying to defend the guy without morally condemning his actions. It shows that she's simply more concerned with dunking on the stupid feminist than who's actually in the wrong or the right. And her chat isn't any better either. Now, I'm in no way saying that Jay Longbone's chat's words are also her words. That is, unless she reads them out and agrees with what's being said.
Silent Nuno, why didn't she intervene when he was drinking, right?
It's like some of the things being said in this video straight up goes over these people's heads. She literally said, unbeknownst to me, he snuck vodka in his canteen and proceeded to get drunker and drunker, meaning that she didn't know. Not only that, she says it in a way that makes it sound like if she did know, she would have stopped him.
A friend is a depressed self-harmer. Clearly this is about me. Wow, like, yeah, she is fucking awful. I'm putting her on blast right here, like, on this stream. Fuck this chick. Like, she's low-key bragging that a guy tried to fucking, like, they got a little too handsy with her. It's a low-key, it's like a low-key, it's like a humble brag. Like, yeah, this guy couldn't keep his fucking hands off me. Oh.
There was also this weird narrative that she was making it all about herself, which, yeah, she's the one who got assaulted. Of course that's about her. That doesn't mean that she thinks his suicide attempt was for her, which I'm pretty sure he didn't even do. The girl clearly said that he simply thought of committing suicide. But then again, he also said he thought of slitting his wrist, and he did actually do that, so I guess we just don't know. But the way she's talking about it makes it out like this girl is just this egocentric douche who's bragging about the attention she got from a deeply depressed guy. Which, from the sound of her voice, it doesn't sound like she's enjoying it very much. No, she sounds hurt. And if we want to care for those with mental health issues, we can't leave out the mental health effects of sexual assault. Many feel alone, scared, ashamed, and fear that no one will believe them. Also denial, learned helplessness, genophobia, anger, self-blame, anxiety, shame, nightmares, fear, depression, flashbacks, guilt, rationalization, mood swings, numbness, and so on. And I don't think this girl was doing all that well mentally after that event.
That could be a part of his mental health problems. Like the fact he finds comfort, like he just misinterprets like comfort from chicks, or he's just extremely lonely or has some kind of like, you know what I'm saying?
Could be. It's still not an excuse though. People tend to have this image in their head of manipulation as some kind of ill-intentioned evil mastermind who knows exactly what emotional strings to pull to manipulate people. But manipulation can actually come from completely well-intentioned people who don't even know what they're doing is manipulation. So let me suppose a scenario. A guy who is genuinely suicidal is in love with a girl. He plans to ask her out at work. Once he's at work, he sees the girl he's in love with and starts talking to her. He asks her out on a date. But before he does that, he actually tells her that he's been feeling suicidal due to loneliness. The girl ends up saying yes to going on a date with him. This is a case of manipulation though, since now she feels pressured and guilty. And the guy may have not even known it was manipulation. Maybe if he did, he wouldn't have said it. That's why I think it's important to educate people about this. Also, hot take here that honestly should be ice cold. If you're the type of person to act out when you're drunk, maybe don't drink around people you feel attracted to.
Okay, LG is like, imagine he finds this. I don't even want to think about that shit. That's fucking depressing as hell. Like he finds it and he's like, wow. Well, he would probably get more depressed and think, wow, even my fucking friend is giving up on me. Maybe I should cut a little deeper next time. Yeah, thanks, you fucking moron.
Now, here's a point that I can actually kind of get behind. I don't think posting this on social media was a good idea. I think it probably would have been a better idea to seek some sort of professional help. But here you can see kind of a moral conundrum. Because I do think it's important for survivors of sexual assault to speak out. But I also think it's important to support suicidal people who commit self-harm in any way we can. Overall, I think this entire situation is a messy gray area, because, of course, I and anyone else don't want the guy to commit self-harm, but I also don't want the girl to feel like she can't talk to anyone, or like she deserved it because the guy was depressed. Because it has been scientifically proven that speaking out against sexual assault helps individuals heal from it. And it may happen that he sees the TikTok clip and starts feeling even more depressed. He might also realize that he's genuinely done something bad and seek professional help simply for the sake of the people around him. In that scenario, the girl posting that would have actually been a net positive. It's always a risk with these kind of situations. But it's a risk that Jay Longbone is actually willing to take. About 2 years ago, Jay Longbone did a stream where she made fun of YouTuber Boogie2988 for being creepy towards women. At that time, Boogie was in a really bad place mentally, and even had his audience thinking he was about to attempt suicide. And what if Boogie saw that video? What if he saw that video and became more depressed? I mean, obviously at that time, there were many people making videos on him, but nonetheless, she still could have contributed to his depression. And I'm not saying this to morally condemn Jay Longbone, or defend Boogie. I don't care if she makes fun of Boogie. My point is simply that a lot of times when people make commentary videos calling out people's shitty behavior, those people could have mental health problems. And sometimes the outcome of calling said person out might be worse than the actual bad thing they did. It's all a risk, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't call out shitty behavior. And while the way that she spoke out probably isn't the best, and she shouldn't have used TikTok to do that, we only know that through the benefit of hindsight. When this initially happened, she probably felt like she needed to speak out, and she ran to the first means she could think of to do it. And as for the guy, I only wish him the best, and I hope he gets better. Both individuals are obviously hurting. But right now, in this small clip of a video, it looks like only one is receiving sympathy. And listen, when it comes to mental health problems, I've been there. I've had suicidal thoughts and thoughts of self-harm. And obviously that's not nearly as bad as this guy who actually did it, but the point is that even in my darkest moments, I was able to recognize that sexual assault and sexual harassment was still wrong. If there's one thing you take away from this video, let it be that mental health problems are not an excuse. Thanks everyone for watching. I'm sorry a lot of my stuff has had a very serious tone to it. But me and David are actually planning to continue the storytime videos where we tell cringy funny stories, so if you want something a little more lighthearted, definitely head over to the second channel. Link in the description. Chalas!
1 7 3 4 6 7 3 2 1 4 7 6 Charlie 3 2 7 8 9 7 7 7